And we're live.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a new installment of Fans of Power here this week. I'm Tyler T-Rex Baker, and with me is a guy who thinks he's funny, who thinks he's just a comedian, a Robin Williams, and he's got a surprise for everybody tonight, or today, this morning, whenever you might be watching this here, is the Rotten Amato himself, MOD-JOE-LOK.
Not anymore. Tyler, for almost 30 episodes here, at least on YouTube, I've had the pleasure of wearing this mask, and it's become known as MOD-JOE-LOK mask. I mean, fans said it, so I started saying it, so it had a good vibe. And as many people as like seeing me wear a mask, there's also been those that said, Joe, why don't you take it off? Joe, why do you hide behind a mask? What's the real Joe model like? So I contemplated a lot about it, saying, should I take this mask off? So I figured today would be the day. And I know some people were annoyed. They were like, they can't believe I'm doing it. But I figured, what the heck? I mean, I guess I can finally get rid of this old mask and finally reveal my new mask. Did you really think I was going to show my face? Did you think I was going to show Joe Model's face? That ain't going to happen. So I got rid of my old one I did here. I redrew it and everything. Like I said, everything you see, the eyes, the mouth, the teeth, everything, it's all being redrawn. It's a lot cleaner. So out with the old, in with the new. You're not getting rid of MOD-JOE-LOK. So I didn't know. I was hoping people weren't going to fall for it. There were some people that concerned, but didn't happen. So there you go. Here I am. I'm still always MOD-JOE-LOK. There you go. What do you think of that, T-Rex? Did you think you were going to see my face too? I didn't know what you were thinking. Not going to happen.
Oh, I thought you were going to show your face, man. I had hard nipples. I just thought Joe was going to reveal his visage to the world, and I would be there to see it just like everybody else. That I would be not part of the show, but I would be a spectator. I mean, I was. I mean, like I said, I mean, you can hang clothing off these nipples here, man. They were so.
They're ready to go, huh? But either way, later during the show, I am gonna like I said, there's gonna be a little trivia. I'll give away that mask, so somebody is gonna wear the original MOD-JOE-LOK mask. So I didn't lie. This really is being retired. This one is going away, but somebody's gonna win this. I've been wearing it for over 30 episodes, so somebody can have
it has authentic Amato sweat, built inside the mask. So when you put it on, you will feel the power of Amato.
There you go.
Coursing through your veins. It'll be going. I mean, your veins will start popping up with like the power of Amato, and it's gonna be like something in a horror movie, like a disease spreading through you. You know.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I'm a disease. I'm a parasite. So hey, I mean, people.
Cure.
And you're the cure. All right, but hey,
make it a little Cobra reference there. Joe's a disease. I'm the cure.
There you go. Well, I'll tell you what. If for anything though, I'll show one little thing. This was when I was 6 years old. So here's one little taste, and this actually is true. It's the first time I think showed a whole photo of me. But there's little Joe. There's little Joe right there. That's me when I was 6 years old, right there. So I didn't lie. You got to see me from a far distance, but there you go. So I showed myself. Did I lie? Did I lie?
You think you're funny, don't you?
I'm asking you, did I lie? I said I never really said I was showing my face or anything. I said the mask was being retired. I retired the mask. Some people wonder if I'd show my face. I showed my face. I didn't say at what time, though. So there you go. So that's the big reveal, and later we'll be giving away the mask with some trivia. So there. I made good on all my promises. Like the new mask, though? You like it? Think it comes out pretty good? Like I said, everything nice and clean. This is all redrawn. Everything. I drew this whole thing, cleaned it up. It looks pretty cool. So, I don't know.
Looks exactly the same.
No, look here. You gotta get, like I said, look at the eyes. First, you can see the eyes have been changed. Look at the teeth. Look at the middle of the teeth. I got more teeth on this mask now. So.
You have more teeth.
Yeah, and it's been smoothed up, cleaned up. It's all streamlined. So, well, there's the reveal. So there you go.
Good grief.
But well, okay. So now that that's out of the way, I hope I didn't sucker too many people. I don't think they fell for it.
You're kidding. We probably got people like knocking over their coffee tables and breaking beer bottles. I mean, I bet there were people who were turning into like their local tavern with like a desktop, or not desktop, a laptop setup, and they see this, and there's several ballroom brawls going on, like Roadhouse. Roadhouse is going on right now because you basically switched the people here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. So, like I said, out with the old, in with the new. They'll see some
The
side
chat
stuff.
room. The chat room is resembling the scene in Airplane when they announced that they're asking if anybody knows how to fly the plane. Everybody starts jumping, and the Jehovah's Witnesses or Hare Krishnas or whatever start punching people in the face, and it's pandemonium in there.
I'll probably have to go to somebody who's really losing and just start smacking them around, and there'll be a lineup of everybody just waiting to smack the hell out of this person. He just won't calm down.
And that would be me. I'm so excited. Everything. They're just grabbing me. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself. Waiting with bats and pipes and guns. So, well, that's how
it'll lead to so many drinking problems after that. That's what's really going to happen too. I'm trusting people are picking up all the Airplane references here.
Great movie, by the way.
Yes, great.
I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
Yeah. There you go. Exactly. All right. But well, anyways, I was going to say, just to announce at least for something that was shown, I think this week was Funko said at San Diego Comic-Con they had some exclusives. They're going to have a Skeletor and Panther 2-pack of those Dorbs, and I think Panther is going to be flocked. I think he's flocked. And also they have a She-Ra. I don't know. Somebody have to explain this to me. I never seen, but I thought they called it Candy Pop She-Ra. I don't even know what it is. I was like, does this come with candy? So I was lost. I'm not into all the Funko stuff, so I'm clueless on it. But it's a cool, like, I guess mini statue thing of her, whatever. And then the last one was, oh dear God, what the heck was the last one? Maybe Derek can. What was the last thing? It was was it Scareglow? Oh, Scareglow. Scareglow is he's now going to be a pop figure. They have a pop vinyl Scareglow, which look cool. So those are exclusive all to San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know if they're going to do any on their website. You know, sometimes companies do that where they offer a limited amount, but they didn't announce. So that's the new news, I guess. Did you hear anything new, Tyler, or is that pretty much it?
I heard that.
Here comes something sarcastic. I can tell just in
your yeah, you know what? I got nothing.
I got nothing.
I was hoping it was going to roll just smoothly, and I'm like, it just kind of came to a quick stop.
I knew it. I could just tell in your tone, but all right. So, well, now that kind of
okay, I'll pound this home. It's you hear more and more bad decisions from Sony about Spider-Man, which just continues to validate the fact that if you don't like what they're doing with the Spider-Man films and all the rights they've got to, and making stupid decisions because they've got it, well, they're going to do the exact same thing with the He-Man movie. So that's it's not necessarily He-Man news like I did before with their previous boneheaded ideas, but
by chance, has there been any news at all of the movie?
Nope, not a single one. All they're announcing is a Black Cat and a Silver Sable movie, and then a Venom movie. It's going to have Carnage in it, but no Spider-Man. So,
yeah, they're going to focus on, like I said, they'll be focused on Marvel stuff. Masters, it ain't going to happen. It'd be cool if it did, but I doubt it's going to. It's just not going to happen. And I know they'll probably.
I wish they'd lose it all, but unfortunately, there's going to be some sort of casualty. It's either going to be He-Man or Spider-Man. And it looks like at this point, Spider-Man is probably going to be the victim because I'm sure He-Man was just going to fall by the wayside and be forgotten. Again, I mean, probably for the best with this group. So
it's just sad because, like I said, we go through the same shtick every single year where they always say, "But you wait, San Diego Comic-Con, they're going to say something." Then it comes and nothing happens, and then a week later they might say one thing and then it goes away again. I mean, it's like a rerun. I feel like we're living the same movie every year. We have our own Masters of the Universe movie. It's called Waiting for a Movie, and it's not going to happen every single year. We go through it, and people get so excited it doesn't happen. So
and it's like everyone else, like Alzheimer's patients. Not to make fun of Alzheimer's patients, but the minute they hear some sort of, they've hired the catering service for the He-Man movie that has not gone into production, not even pre-production, not even a finished script, but they've hired the catering services. People are like, oh, do my eyes deceive me? Is there really an update heading in the direction of a brand new He-Man movie? They've hired catering services for the movie. Just
remember, it's coming December 2019. We're going to get it, so get prepared. Again, it'd be cool, but I don't think it's
not with Sony. No, it will not be cool, and you damn well know that. It is not going to be cool. It's going to be everything that people hate and dread.
That's a scary thing. It's like you said, sure, we want a movie to happen. It's always delayed, but I'm sure that if it did actually happen, oh man, I mean, I can only imagine. You're right. We always critique fans of every
I'm
popular
not telling
franchise
people
of
to not be
critique, but
optimistic about a movie coming, but look where it's at. I mean, and look, this is not even a legitimate discussion. I was just being sarcastic when I said this. But point being, it's like people who, and I'm a Spider-Man nut, so to hear this kind of news is very disconcerting. I think it's absolutely stupid. I could just go in to strangle all the execs for even thinking such stupid things, let alone actually greenlighting a Venom movie with no Spider-Man. And it's just they're so desperate that we got to make money. We're going to make more stupid decisions and piss off fans, and it's going to keep making more and more duds, and then point the finger at everybody else and say it wasn't my fault. So I just feel like I hope He-Man continues to get delayed to the point where they just take it off their books, because they lose money on a Venom movie with no Spider-Man, and think you throw Carnage in there, it's going to sell. I'm like, it's going to be horrible.
yeah,
a Black Cat Silver Sable movie? No. Without Spider-Man? No. Go to hell.
yeah. So the movie probably won't happen. If it does, it'll
disappoint. Back there, and to Doug, I want to apologize for my language from last week. So I just want to let him know that this podcast is in fact a rated R podcast.
I just want to point out that my ears are not a toilet. Okay.
What?
You said what? Well, the ears, because it doesn't like take in. Well, I don't know. I'd assume that's what he meant. I don't know what the reference was, but go ahead.
Mine ears? Toilet?
No,
what?
No, it's from a TV show called The IT Crowd.
Oh God, is this something that I should figure out?
Line then.
The line is, "My ears are not a toilet."
Okay, his ears are not a toilet, so he doesn't want to hear my crap. So, but this podcast is a rated R podcast, people. We just want people to know that, so people listen to their kids. This is a podcast for real fans who want real discussions about Masters of the Universe here.
So that's
just take caution that if you want to be entertained, you're gonna have to listen to some rated R content here. You understand?
Don't
we
get
would love it if Doug would promote the show in various websites and stuff with a big rated R stamp right on and a brief description of what rated R really means, and fans of power. I was gonna say fans of podcasts. I'm getting so tongue tied.
You are not Edge. You are not the WWE rated R champion.
See, he ain't Edge. At least thank God.
Sure, I could be the Edge equivalent of the Master Universe fan community. I really could be.
I'm just glad I wasn't the only one.
I could be a great heel. I could be a great babyface. I could do both.
You're good, but at least, like I said, I'm glad that I wasn't the only one that didn't get the IT reference, and Tyler didn't get it too, because I was like, oh God, are we going to have another Seinfeld thing? But thank God that didn't happen.
I could do some more Seinfeld, but it might get, crickets.
No, that's there.
Doug knows what I'm talking about when I say that.
Yeah, all right. Well, like you said, real fans, real talk. So speaking of real talk, why don't you start it off? We're going to get going. We're going to do our character profile. And this time it's going to be for the leader of the Snake Men, and that's King Hiss. We've done every other faction's leader, but we haven't touched King Hiss yet. So go ahead, T-Rex.
We haven't done Hordak yet.
We did Hordak, didn't we? No,
we did not. We were Hordak for someone in particular.
Oh, shoot. I thought we did. Okay, well, I had my Joe senile moment.
He knows who he is while we haven't done Hordak.
I had a senile moment. Well, okay, well, we're getting to the Snake Men. We haven't really covered them at all, period, much anyways, of doing a profile. So go ahead. Initial thoughts. Go ahead. Get going on King Hiss.
Oh, boy. King Hiss is... Man, where do you start on this?
Boy, that's
character?
A chapstick-worthy moment, huh? You got to get going. Get the lips going.
I have to collect my thoughts. I'm gonna have like a cloud above my head projecting my thoughts of King Hiss. King Hiss is a phenomenal character. I mean, he's if you were fortunate enough to come along and during the 80s and pick him up as an vintage figure, in which I was, it was such an overly unique character that he was way outside the box, but was completely fit in with all the He-Man toys because the gimmick of him shedding his body, his arms and his back and his chest and revealing this nest of snakes underneath him, and I'm terrified of snakes, but as a child it was what you want in a bad guy. I played with King Hiss a whole lot, man.
That was a fun figure. He was.
It was fun just to sit and take him apart and to go and show any adult that was around. Look at all the snakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey mama, look at all the snakes. You know, and because you had like the snake wrapped up inside his torso and the arms and the head. I mean, it was just like he was a mess of snakes. And
did you ever try to do? There was something I tried to do because I loved that just how it popped off. It was so cool seeing how it popped off and showed the snakes. But then you had the shell of the character. I remember I tried to take at least the front because you couldn't fit them both, and I put it over another He-Man figure if I had an extra one to try to say, okay, here's the good King Hiss and here's the bad King Hiss. I love just the whole gimmick of that guy. It was just such a cool appeal, especially when you looked at the card back and the way they played it out of how,
yeah.
hey, he looks like a friendly guy, and then he turns into that nasty guy. I liked that gimmick.
It was a fun, and he did. They sculpt the friendly look on his face, which I thought was really cool as a kid because it was very. I took it as very deceptive. You know, the actual outer shell, the figure looks very friendly, but he's got the Snake Man logo and the scaly body, and it was just like a nice surprise when you're building it up when you're playing with your toys to this friendly. I mean, well thought out character. I mean, there was. Where it was more than just a simple, you know, you do something with the figure and he does this or he does that. Whereas this reveals a big surprise, like a hidden, you know, you arguably say he's one of the most, if not most creative characters that was done for He-Man.
He could be kind of like
the way I am right now.
He could be in a way almost like a only one click way of being a Masters of the Universe nesting doll. You know how the ones that pop, but you only had one of them. Yeah, you're right. It was like a bonus. He almost felt like two figures in one. And I mean, I always wished we were going to get him in Filmation. You know, it sucks it didn't happen because I wonder how they would have did it. You know, because you think about a lot of the stories, they never really did. They now I know you would know more than me. Did they play upon the friendly to evil guy gimmick in much of anything except that card back? Because I just thought that would have always been a cool little thing to do, at least for a one shot.
I think in the Snakes Alive Star comic, I think when he approaches the Heroic Wars, which there's this, I've mentioned it before in an earlier podcast, but there's this beautiful splash page where he approaches Rio Blast, and I forget what the confrontation is, but he's pretty much kind of, you know, got a hold of Rio Blast, and Rio Blast, I think, grabs a hold of his arms, and then he just reveals himself in this beautiful splash page. I mean, the snakes, and Rio Blast is holding on to these two snakes in his hands. He's on his knees, like, oh dear God, what the hell? You know, what the hell is this guy?
It's freaky, yeah.
But
because it can only work for one time, you know. I mean, that's the thing. That gimmick, I guess, can only work because then everybody knows.
Yeah, it's like, you know, I think as a kid, unless you're just going to create brand new stories for yourself as a child, so okay, I'm going to reboot this story here. We're going to start all over again.
You know, which could have made one thing interesting. It's like, you know how like snakes shed their skin. You know, like if that is kind of like one of his gimmicks, it would have been cool if hypothetically in stories you got used to seeing one, maybe he then was able to make different skins to appear to be a good guy or to be a spy and then to shed into his nasty King Hiss form.
So now I like the idea of him, he keeps the human form, you know, is this kind of outfit that he wears, because it's like building up the tension. If you were to watch it play out in, you know, a movie or a cartoon, you know what's underneath that body. Sure. Especially if you hear stories of it and you think someone's going to meet their demise at King Hiss, but he's going to reveal his snakes first and more than likely eat you. Sure. It's a great build up to it, you know, because you know what's coming. This guy's going to get eaten alive because this guy's a nest of snakes underneath human skin. And
oh, I could see. Sure, that's what I mean. Sure, it could work for like let him have his main one. But I thought if they were to try to play on him, you know, if he ever wanted to infiltrate as something else, it could have been cool if there could have been alternate, maybe in the stories, just different skins he wears. You know, snakes could wear many skins possibly that he could keep shedding. Just interesting way of making.
See, I have, even though I understand tying into the whole, you know, snake thing of shedding skin, but I just kind of feel like I can't see him wearing any other different skins other than his dominant form.
Could you picture him impostering He-Man one time? to act like he was He-Man, but underneath thing, and then he shakes.
That's what Faker is for. You don't have innocent person, man.
Faker. He
I'm
works.
just saying he doesn't need to, because that's I mean, unless he is being introduced to, you know, an entirely new group of people who are not even aware of King Hiss. I mean, because like story-wise, he was during the times of Pre-Eternia, was locked in the void beneath Snake Mountain, as they show in the mini comic, as Unleashed. So there's a lot of people who are not even familiar with King Hiss.
Oh, sure, for the ones that are not familiar, yeah.
That's the part where you could really play up the fact before, you know, he starts going around to random villages or small towns and stuff.
For unknowns, that makes perfect sense.
Okay, set himself up, you know, as this very friendly guy, and and that's why I'm like, that's where I want that. I don't want him changing skins. I don't want him, you know, anything more. Like, it's strictly a disguise that he can remove at any time. And the 2000X cartoon did a pretty good job of going from back and forth between the skin and the snakes underneath. That is pretty much instantaneously. But it's just, it's such a great gimmick.
Yes.
I mean, it really is. This leader, this king is I mean, he's not like he's walking around in snakes all the time. It's like he prefers to be, you know, like when you see him in I think it's King of the Snake Men, where he's sitting on his throne with the infamous, you know, slave girl at his, you know, he's in his human form, you know, so it's like this is what he wears, you know, pretty much to be king or to converse or possibly even go in. I mean, the Powers of Grayskull mini-comic, you don't see his snake form one time. He is his outer body the entire time. When he meets Skeletor, when he goes in the battle on the T-Rex, he's wearing his outer skin. So it's like his most dominant form. It's like the snakes underneath are like a means of submission. Or in 2000X, he's going to eat. Like, that's how he eats. I can see that he reveals himself like that to, you know, eat people alive. So you can give meaning behind that. But I think it's interesting that 2000X does the same thing too, where he is walking around in his outer form, his more human form, pretty much all the time. You know,
it's just like when the snake
for a very specific purpose. Like it's like a fear tactic.
Yeah, basically, and it's the ending call, if you will. Like, if you see that come out, you know, okay, now things just really got serious when he shows the snake forms. I mean, like, as depicted in what Dirt was popping up there, showing that Earl Norm. I mean, my God, that's always a favorite poster of mine. A depiction of King Hiss. All that, just his nasty face, the snakes. I love that poster. That's one of my favorites. I mean, Earl Norm, I mean, everything he did was fantastic.
He made everybody look good. If there's a character that nobody, if people want to sit there and slam Snout Spout, Earl Norm could change your mind on Snout Spout, and so could, you know, several other great artists. But he really emphasizes the level of evil in King Hiss in that poster. I mean, and King Hiss to me always felt like he was heavily inspired by watching Thulsa Doom and Conan the Barbarian when it came out in '82.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, once I saw Conan, I think it was in 5th grade, I think, when I finally saw it. I just felt like King Hiss was clearly inspired by James Earl Jones. You know, this snake clan that had been pretty much extinct, and he's like the last remaining member, and he's got 2 followers, Fulcrum and Thulcrum. I think it's Thulcrum, and Rexor, like Tongue Lasher and Ratlore. So it just felt like there was such a connection between these villains and the ones that were in Conan the Barbarian. I felt like that's where they got this human form that turns into one, you know, a snake, or in this case, lots of snakes. And it just, oh gosh,
I think they missed the boat.
This character has to be broken down in so many parts to be fully discussed, because he's such an intriguing character. And I often feel like a lot of times, and Snake Man fans probably feel the same way, that King Hiss and the Snake Man probably get shortchanged a lot. Because
they're the ones that were blamed. I've heard that so many times, fans saying that the Snake Men are the reason Masters of the Universe fell apart. When they came out, that's when the toy sales dropped. And then, you know, when they appeared in MYP, then again, it fell apart. They always want to curse the Snake Men.
They are a matter of coincidence, because, I mean, honestly, I've never ever associated them with being the big downfall of either line, for that matter, because I just, He-Man was so strong from 82, 83, 84, 85. That's 4 solid years. And then, 86, the real Ghostbusters had come out. Thundercats was on the scene.
It's just things change. You're right.
Transformers and G.I. Joe were still. It's hard to pinpoint, but just for some reason, boys just stopped playing with them drastically. And wasn't too long after that, Turtles came out. And, Nintendo, was on the scene. So it's.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're victims of circumstance because the 86 wave, which gave us a statement, we had Rio Blast, Snout Spout, Dragstore, Multibot, Rio Blast, the Slime Pit, Eternia came out in 86. So if people want to sit and say that the Snake Men, of all the stuff that was released that year, are to blame, they're really not thinking things very clearly. And if you want to blame the Snake Man for MYP, they weren't done by the Horsemen. They were done by another party, and they looked awful. Why King Hiss, I'm calling him Rattler, the hell with, the General.
Yeah.
He's not selling insurance, or people in the States know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Right.
Or Cobra Khan, it was they weren't. You couldn't find them here in the States. I had to special order those. I think from a special.
You know where I got mine? Do you know where I got mine at?
Kmart.
Aldi's. This was the most bizarre story, and I loved it. I loved that this happened. I remembered. It was. God, I can't remember. They talked about, people were saying, did you see the ad for Aldi's? Look at the ad for Aldi's. And that Sunday, I happened to get my paper and looked, and in the Aldi's ad, it showed Masters Universe. It showed the Snake Man. I was like, what? I was like, this can't be possible. So sure as crap, Monday, I made sure to check Aldi's to see if it was there. And sure enough, they had all of them. They had every one of the Snake Men. So for some reason, Aldi's got them. I don't know if any other stores in the States did, but Aldi's had all the Snake Men and some of the repaints, and how you got the repaint of Triclops, and I can't remember. Yeah, so there was a couple of repaints, but that's where it popped up. But you're right, they're just victims of circumstance, which always, I like bringing up this thing, and I'm not saying I'm right, but it's just a coincidence that since the Snake Men were never really featured, and I'm not going to talk about Rattler, and I'm not going to talk about Tongue Lasher. I mean, Squeeze and Snakeface, the rest of them. They were never really featured in the cartoon for Filmation. We never got King Hiss. And sometimes our impressions, a lot of people...
You do realize when you said that when you said Rattler and Tongue Lasher were not featured,
I said they were featured, but I'm talking about the others. I said I know they were in there, but we didn't get Snakeface, we didn't get Squeeze.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because when you say it's starting to sound like you said, oh, none of them were featured. I'm like, Joe.
You know how I start rambling my thoughts real quick.
Okay, we don't want people calling you a hack and saying, Joe, I beg to differ. Did you not know that the Sheba cartoon is Tongue Lasher?
We got those two, and like I said, I don't count Cobra Khan. But, and we didn't get King Hiss.
He's not a snake. No.
Yeah, and we didn't get King Hiss. And I know that sometimes there's a lot of fans that I've encountered to where their main experience of knowing most of these characters came from the cartoon. So I always wondered if King Hiss and Snakeface and Squeeze and all the rest of them, if they were in the cartoon, maybe would people respect the Snake Men more? I don't know. It's just a theory. I'm not saying I'm right, but
people like the Snake Men. There's a lot of fans for them, but I just always feel like Skeletor, for obvious reasons, since he was the first baddie and is definitely heavily remembered by people who just, if you mention He-Man to them, oh yeah, Skeletor, the guy with the skull face and this and that. They're not going to remember King Hiss. He-Man fans know who King Hiss is, but it just always feels like the appreciation, or maybe it's just not heavily, made public so much, but you kind of feel like, they don't make King Hiss merchandise. They don't make King Hiss,
It's Skeletor, He-Man, Hordak, and She-Ra. Those are the ones you're making.
Those are the four, and, it really isn't fair, to not include King Hiss, because, I'm sure if you were to hold any of the Snake Men toys up to a child that was in the 80s that is far removed from anything in the toy community, the He-Man fan community, he'd recognize one of them. One of those Snake Men he would recognize. He may not remember their name, but you just it just kind of makes you feel like, King Hiss needs to be included in all these promotional things you're doing, instead of using these generic, badly colored Filmation stock merchandise stuff where they have He-Man with very light hair and almost pale skin instead of the tan and bright orange hair.
Right.
You know, which pisses me off. It's like, well, how can you guys screw up filmation? But people do. And why King Hiss is not utilized more in, merchandising or, I mean, not that they do a whole lot of merchandising for He-Man, but at least currently, and most of it's not too good. It probably, if they did like a King Hiss T-shirt, it'd probably say something like, "Come at me, bro," or "Who's your daddy?" or something, "Who's your king?" Or just something just like, oh my gosh, it's just like whoever came up with that slogan, make sure he's fired.
That's what was good with the classics, at least with the figures. We got a couple versions of them because we finally got to get more snakes. People always were saying, "Man, I wish there was more snakes." So you got those couple of different things of them, which was nice to see. So it shows there is interest in King Hiss. It's just
there is interest, but I just felt like there's, if for some reason people who've got merchandising rights wanted to release a King Hiss poster, like a big nice poster of King Hiss in front of Snake Mountain, or kind of morphing from the human form to the busted snakes or something like that, I know people would be very, excited for something like that, or a King Hiss lunchbox, or something as simple as that,
Hey, picture the thing that, we got a He-Man, we got a Skeletor, and we got a She-Ra toothbrush holder. How cool would it have been with King Hiss, with maybe in a snake form holding like 2 toothbrushes or something else? That would have been kind of cool. I love merchandise gimmick stuff. That would have been kind of some, fun stuff to see.
And it's I almost feel like too, if you look back at a lot of the merchandising, even during the 80s, I mean, I certainly don't remember a whole lot in regards to Snake Man. I've looked at a lot of merchandise, for over the years on the internet, looking up.
Just international fans got the good stuff. In the U.S., we didn't get nothing.
Yeah, they may have gotten a lot more, but I don't recall a whole lot of. And don't get me wrong, I know they had released some King Hiss related stuff, not a whole lot, not to the extent of He-Man, Skeletor, and Hordak.
Right.
But I know they made like the King Hiss, Halloween costume. From the company that did like Hordak.
Oh, the Ben Cooper stuff, which would look nothing like King Hiss. He looked like a green lizard. I was like, what is this? It didn't even look like
so I mean, there was some, but I think people get it when I say that King Hiss is not utilized as much, which was great when MYP came out and they decided to make them the heaviest villain of that, as opposed to Skeletor. And unfortunately, as I said before, we're built up like a great wrestling heel, and then you got Zodak and everybody come in and pull a John Cena and just bury the Snake Man in the second episode, and they're like, okay, the threat of the Snake Man, is about as threatening as a melting ice cube.
Especially after showing the dominance, because I couldn't tell you how excited I was when they finally showed the Snake Man, because I always wanted them in the filmation. We never got it. But when MYP came and we finally got to see them, I mean, I was freaking out to finally see, like I said, everybody I wanted to. Especially like the one character I never really hear many people talk about is Snakeface, and he was always my favorite. I mean, besides loving using that squeeze toy, I just love doing that Snakeface gimmick and picture turning people to stone. So when he got to show that he was just dominating, popping, and turned Merman to stone, and everybody, I was like, I just loved it. I loved seeing it. And I loved seeing King Hiss finally. And like you said, when he shed his skin and just looked so wicked, and then the things you find out that he did in the past, of eating Zodak's brother. Wasn't it Zodak's brother he ate?
Yeah, Zelar, and seeing in silhouette. But I just really, looking back at it, like because it was all fresh to me, and it didn't bother me as much. It bothered me that Zodak was, being the more heavy hitter in this. I'm like, I don't want to see Zodak have this much of a part in this story, at least on a personal standpoint. And plus, it just come off like he's not as mystical as you're expecting the character of Zodak to be. He's just like this mystic enforcer, so to speak. Not someone who watches from the cosmos as
not
an
the
observer.
Cosmic enforcer. No, he's a mystic enforcer. He had a different role.
Yeah, it was the role that I did not like. And then to really John Cena him out, where he comes in and just beats King Hiss right there on the spot within a very short fight. And he picks him up and throws him down into the abyss of Grayskull. And when you watch the first part of Rise of the Snake Man, you think, oh my gosh, Dean Stefan, and they have hyped up the first time the entire Snake Men, and I was worried that they weren't going to show Squeeze and Snakeface because I almost felt like it was a long shot to include, because Squeeze is my favorite Snake Man.
Yeah,
and it was like a long shot to include them. And when they all come out of the void, and then they come in, the episode wraps up, and King Hiss and the Snake Men just beat Skeletor into the ground. All the evil warriors are turned to stone. He's swallowed alive by this stone snake that comes out of the ground. And you just like, oh my God! I was like, we have just witnessed the greatest introduction to a character that really needed it, and it was your eyes were just they popped out of your head like Roger Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see that second episode, and they are quickly defeated and dismissed, and are sent into hiding. And this is like, I don't care what you do at this point; they're no longer a threat at all. And it was just, I was so mad. I was freaking, me and my brother freaked out watching that first part. We're like, this is so awesome, so dominant. I can't believe how badass King Hiss and Squeeze and Snakeface and Tongue Lasher and Rattler and Cobra. This is awesome. And Merman's dead. Losing my breath here. And it's like, this is the greatest thing ever. And then he comes in, and John Cena's music's cute, and Zodiac comes in and just throws him down in the abyss. I felt like, what the hell are they doing? And they couldn't redeem themselves after that. There were some good moments King Hiss had, and throughout the rest of the line, not a whole lot of super memorable ones. Rattle the Snake comes to mind because you see him eat the Caligar alive, which was very, very, very cool. And I liked his face-off with He-Man.
I was going to say that. I did like the encounter with He-Man where he said, "You are no King Grayskull." I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. I did like their encounter.
I like that. He turns back to human and then kind of cocks his head and says, "I knew King Grayskull. I fought him, and you are no..." It's just his demeanor towards He-Man. Like, it was very cocky and condescending. And it's, I mean, everybody's smacking each other. That's a prime episode where I had a problem with the way they're animating the fights, where if you punch somebody, Teela's been sent down multiple levels because she showed how useless she is in that episode.
We always get a Teela drop.
People are smacking each other around. They're going, "Oh, way over there," and they're going way over there. I mean, I know the statement about ambrosia in their body. Okay, I'll give you that. But it just felt like, dude, not everybody is as strong as He-Man in this. But it just seems so. I'm getting off topic here. Point being is that King Hiss overall, even though he was not getting a whole lot of great, in my opinion, I know a lot of Snake Man fans probably think every episode he was in was fantastic, and that's awesome because I'm glad for you that you can enjoy it to that extent. I just felt like you could do, with such an introduction, you could have done so much more, and that's what worries me, that had we gotten season 3, that the Horde would have been probably given the same treatment. That as great as they looked in the Power of Grayskull episode, I mean, they're quickly Montana, Grizzle, and Leech are quickly defeated by King Grayskull.
You like saying that too, don't you?
And I'm like, okay, well, obviously Hordax, legions are not much of a threat. It's but it was just for one. But it just makes me think that
a build-up sometimes is a lot better, even though I can see where they're coming from, where they like right from the start getting off to where they show how dominant but
it was a
build-up would be better. Yeah. A one-shot deal.
This is when they say from the beginning the Snake Men are going to be the prime villain of season 2, you're thinking there's going to be, a consistency of like a legitimate threat story-wise, and it's not
right. Then end with a big climax of a battle. Yeah, but to have it start and then just kind of weighing down like that, you're right. It's like there was all this anticipation climax, and then boom. So you're right. There's ways that you think they should redo it, and exactly, if the Horde came, I would have hoped they wouldn't have did that to the Horde.
I mean, they said that the Horde were going to be in take over, and that He-Man and the Heroic Warriors were going to be like, renegades, on the run, because the Horde have come in and taken, main control of Eternia. But they can say that, and whether they actually execute it the way it should be with that kind of idea is left to be seen. And I just felt like there was no, it just felt like they would not have the Horde's best interest of building them up as. Whereas, like in She-Ra, they're in charge. Even though She-Ra wins every episode, you start the next episode with the Horde are still in charge because they're still collecting taxes. They're still burning villages and stuff like that. Even though the show always is good triumphs, because this is a cartoon for girls and boys. but it's you still have that in the background, because as a kid, it never picked up on me that the Horde were in charge.
No,
I just
like
saw
that.
this.
Story-wise, they're supposed to be, yeah, but you never got the impression in almost. I mean, there were some episodes, sure, but as you're watching, it's like you never really got that impression. There's all these celebrations. There's all
and I didn't see Secret of the Sword till I was in high school, so I only saw episodes where they say, the next Horde tax collector. I'm like, no, this is foreign language thing. What's taxes? What's a tax collector? I don't know what that is. I just know that She-Ra will defeat Hordak at the end of this episode.
Yeah.
And, with something like this, where clearly they are aware that these, young adult and fully adult He-Man fans are watching this and trying to attract kids, it wouldn't be the first time that a cartoon series was building up multiple parts. I mean, you think about the X-Men series from the 90s, where they had the Phoenix Saga go on for, I think, 4 or 5 parts with the Phoenix Saga. Then you had the Dark Phoenix Saga, and you had, several 2-part episodes, I think, with Sanctuary, just various things where you could still do multi-part episodes with a villain has not been defeated for 3 to 4 episodes. That's what you wanted to see with the Snake Man. Something that goes on for a while. It makes it sound like these guys are the real deal. That He-Man will triumph. But to have them defeated so quickly like that's like the Horde were going to be the next victim of that. And I
can only hope, me with my optimist, wishful thinking, that if a new
the Horde looks so good in it too.
Yeah. In a new cartoon, like I said, if they ever made a new cartoon, which I hope they would, I hope that there would be, at least we'd get the Snake Man and the Horde, because that's what sucks. You think we look back at Filmation, we got just the Horde, we didn't get the Snake Man. Then we come to MYP, we got the Snake Man, we got a taste of the Horde, but it didn't happen. I'm just hoping that a perfect cartoon could happen, a perfect combination, and we could finally get both of them to actually show up before the freaking cartoon gets canceled. I mean, will it happen? No. Would it be nice if it happened? Yes.
But that's something that I felt like because nowadays, I mean, cartoon orders, they seem so short. It's like, a company will give us an order of 12 episodes for our first season. And for a first season of He-Man, we would probably just get treated to, we'd be lucky enough if like someone like Jitsu and Spikor and Buzz-Off were to show up in a brand new series and not be focused so much on, the same 4 good guys, the same 4 bad guys fighting over Castle Grace, or where fans are treated to characters that are not used as frequently. And to be able to introduce the Snake Man and the Horde before the show wraps up, you'd like to, because Horde fans are going to want to see them treated with dignity and respect. Same thing with Snake Man fans. You don't want to see them thrown in one episode. Okay, well, you got your Snake Man fixed. Okay, we're going to go back to, Skeletor's, villain of the day kind of thing.
Sure.
I mean, it's going to be really, really hard. I mean, it would have to be a cartoon that's marketed properly, that's not changing the time slots that Cartoon Network did all the time when they didn't do a great job of promoting those changes, and takes the source material serious, not trying to be cute and funny and kill momentum with bad jokes. And
sure, like I said, it'd be hard. It would be nice, because then finally, like you said, everybody would get something they wanted.
All 3 of these factions, because I'd like to see the Horde establish a base on Eternia, and that would be the toy version of the Fright Zone, that they still have their factory, headquarters on Etheria.
Then we could see times where they could all plot with each other, that maybe Hordak would want to team up with King Hiss one time, and then one time Skeletor with somebody else. Like you said, it can make interesting to have all the villains on the planet from kind of the get-go.
Hordak would have to be there, but if the Horde are going to do something on Eternia, they made it at the toy play set where you got the beast monster, the tree, and the rock trap, and the prison.
Sure.
Like, okay, this episode, Hordak has decided he's going to meet King Hiss at his base of operations on Eternia, not on Etheria.
Yeah, because that's how they did it in some of the books, right? Where the base on Eternia was, like you said, the Fright Zone.
Well, for the He-Man toy line, the Horde, I mean, they would travel to Etheria. Like in the Hordak mini comic, they're on Etheria, but they're using the Fright Zone playset. So I just felt like, because that Fright Zone is so iconic from Filmation. Like, He-Man and She-Ra fans of the Horde in general, love that Fright Zone. I love both of them. I love the toy play set. It'd just be cool, like, make use of.
Oh.
Or, if you want to keep them on the same planet, because you kind of, to throw around the idea that Hordak is traveling through corridors between, complete different galaxies, just like this at the snap of a finger. You like to think that time travel is not so, or not time travel, gateway travel is not so easy to do. You like to think of it as this, ordeal, because information. Anytime He-Man would travel to Trala or travel to this place, travel to that place, it's always the warning. You have until moonrise to get back to the portal here, or something like that. So it would be cool if they'd find some way of, or better this, have the Snake Men, and when they arise, they take base in Snake Mountain with Skeletor, because I've always liked the idea of these two working together, but they can't wait to stab each other in the back. Like that, like at the it's at the King of the Snake Man mini comic, prime example right there. When King Hiss shows up, not only Skeletor sends a spy in Cobra Khan to work with the Snake Man to be his eyes and ears inside the Snake Man, so he knows exactly what they're doing. And they shake hands and make a deal. They'll work together, and then when Eternity is all theirs, they'll kill each other. That's what I want to see, and have maybe MOD-JOE-LOK set up base on Eternia, and can maybe converse with Hordak to Etheria and set up dimensional portals that would bring Hordak come through this time, or Grizzlers come this time, or you got Dialog and Scorpion come through this time. There's so many things. Man, I'm really ranting.
Yeah, we're way off track, but that's okay. But either way, if a new cartoon happened, like I said, it'd be fantastic. Hopefully, and they could do stuff that we'd want to see. Will it happen? I don't know. But that's basically, like you said, everything that we've said about King Hiss. There could be other little cannons from other countries and stuff, maybe for another episode. But
he's got nothing but great mini comic appearances too. Every mini comic that he was in, from Revenge of the Snake Men to the Powers of Grayskull to King of the Snake Men, Snake Attack. I mean, they're all great stories. Even
the UK utilized him really well in the UK comic magazines. He was utilized a lot. So there's plenty of.
There's plenty of, but just makes you feel like there's more. There's so much more that can be done with. But I don't want their history explained. Like, I think what we got in the mini comic was more than enough, and I don't want anything more than that. I like a lot of what they are kept in secret. I don't want to know about King Hiss, his past or anything like that. He's really a tragic lover, that his woman was taken away from him, so he turns against the priesthood and decides to
some people like a bio background, some people hate it and just want to rather, like I said, get to it. I mean, you're right, there's just
don't humanize the villains, because they're not villains, they're tragic figures, and
they do it to everybody, unfortunately.
I know it's the current thing. You can't have a villain in movies anymore. He's got to be a tragic figure. We got to feel sorry for him.
Yep. If sometimes, like I said, I like somebody being just evil.
Sorry for a guy who eats people alive.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes just let somebody be evil, period.
And that's what He-Man villains are. They are evil to be evil. There is no Keldor was, because he has blue skin and he can't be king and nonsense like that.
Some of that just got a little too ridiculous. But like I said, we always
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was going to give my closing thought. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to say, if there's always more to revisit on King Hiss, we can. But I didn't know if you wanted to transition to our last topic or what?
We've done two-parters to characters already, so if people enjoyed this one and want us to dig deeper into certain aspects or stories of King Hiss, let us know. And because that's what's so good about what we do, is that we can go back and revisit characters and episodes and mini comics, look at it from different perspectives, just like we did previous episode with Faker. I mean, we were talking to Joe about concerning Faker, like what could be done with the character, what missed opportunities, or
exactly. Things can always be revisited in different ways and looking at it from a different perspective. But before we hit the last topic, I just want to make sure, Dirk, did you have anything to say or not? I just want to make sure, because I seen that it went from your normal avatar to the Fans of Power flipping around. Just want to make sure if he jumps in, yes. If he doesn't jump in, then no. No, there you go. All right, just like that. No. All right, so T-Rex, now we're going to hit our final topic. You go ahead, tell fans what to do.
All right, what we're doing here, because we did not let anyone know about this, so this will be, kind of spurred amongst people who are catching this as we're recording this live. We're going to be doing a commentary for one of the most beloved episodes of the He-Man series in Prince Adam No More. And I was one of our fans suggested it. I initially wanted to do that for Father's Day. I didn't bring it up to Joe because we had some topics set in stone and I thought it would be a great way to tie in for Father's Day. But you know what? I mean, we're waiting. I know we'd get to it at some point, and we'll just tie it into last week's episode. So, the gentleman on YouTube who said he wanted to see it, I'm sorry, but if I forgot your name, but I know that you mentioned it and Joe acknowledged it, and so we hold you, we give you credit for saying you wanted to see it. I wanted to do it. You know, we plan to get to all the episodes, but this is a definitely a top 5 episode because it's an episode I didn't appreciate a whole lot as a kid. I remember when I rented it, hoping that Too Bad was going to be in it or Fisto. It was a tape I had never seen before at one of my regular video stores. Oh my gosh, I could finally see Too Bad or Fisto in an episode for the first time finally, and it was a okay episode as a kid. I'm like, oh, it's not bad. That's kind of cool, but it did not, because I was so hoping to see characters I hadn't seen before, so it was kind of missed opportunities. And I got a little bit older and really realized just how awesome this episode is, and it's a perfect example of, you know, it just gets better with age. I just appreciate.
Right, well, tell fans how to click it on when we're getting ready to do this right here.
All right, I'm watching my DVD. Joe is watching an illegal bootleg that he got from some peddler in a back alley, kind of similar to the one that sold the Chucky doll to Andy's mom in the first Child's Play.
I'm watching this on YouTube, and unfortunately, there might be a couple times where it's going to do these auto ads that I'll have to click off for 5 seconds. So there'll be a little delay with me and T-Rex. But
actually, Joe, I threw a link in the chat. Someone called the Free Channel Network uploaded Prince Adam No More full episode with no ads.
Oh, okay, and that's you said you put that in the live chat, or where'd you put that at?
Yeah, I put that in the chat.
Okay, hold on a second. Full episode. All right, hold on a second. I just want to wait. Let me wait for this quick ad to get off. There's an ad right now, but okay. Let me go to the beginning. All right, cool. Okay, thanks. Well, thank you for that, and I appreciate it. And who did you say did that? You or a fan that's in the chat room?
No, I did. I posted it in the chat so everybody else could follow if they want to open it in a new window.
All right. So, well, as T-Rex said, when he says 3, 2, 1, we'll hit play, and it'll start right off where it goes and does the logo. So that's how we're going to time this. So go ahead. You cue one to do it, and we'll kick this thing on.
All right, everybody. I hope you're all set and ready. And for people, just like I said, I'm going to count down from 3 and hit play. So when I say hit play on whatever device, just that the Filmation credits will start rolling. So 3, 2, 1, play. And there we go. Bing.
All right, perfect. Yep. Now this one will be fun to discuss. I'm not going to nitpick like I always do in every other episode. I swear it won't happen this time. There's nothing that I could possibly nitpick or ask questions of that'll come up later in this episode.
Well, you feel the full wrath of T-Rex if you do, because this is a masterpiece episode. If there was a, you know, not a personal favorite, even though it is a personal favorite, this is an episode that if you're going to, you know, try and convince some idiot who's like, man, information is stupid or something like that, this is an episode that has to be shown to say, no. You don't find a story to this kind of quality in NYP or any other, you know, media. It's just we have Paul Dini to thank. You know, we had Paul Dini to thank for a lot of things for the He-Man show that, you know, he provided in the canon here. But it's I mean, and we've mentioned this episode before too, with it being Beastman's most prominent episode, with him being the villain of the episode and being successful in capturing King Randor on the first attempt. But it's fun. It's you know, to open it up and you see the camaraderie between the evil warriors as Beastman is being denounced by Skeletor. You see Merman and Triclops are kind of like, dude, what's Skeletor's problem? Why is Beastman, you know, being harassed and kicked out of Snake Mountain? Like, it's interesting to see the how the evil warriors react to this kind of stuff, because you just don't see it a whole lot. I mean, this great the whole council table's all filled up. I love shots like that.
Oh, yeah. And as you'll see, I mean, again, Beastman has to be the target of Skeletor's unfortunate rage. He's the victim of this. Just because Skeletor is, in a mood, So Beastman's the one.
Yeah, and it kind of makes you feel like, well, Triclops says that he's tired of too many defeats from He-Man, and obviously this is a recent defeat, possibly, and it's unfortunate. I mean, because Skeletor denounces all his evil wars, but between all of them, Beastman seems to be the main source of Skeletor's fury. That if he's going to go off on somebody, Beastman's the bottom of the totem pole. Even Beastman obviously has been with him the longest.
Exactly. He takes his whip there for a moment. It's just, I always felt so bad. I was like, God, if there's the one person that's always trying to serve Skeletor and please Skeletor, you think it's Beastman. And he's the one that just, again, gets dismissed, gets kicked out of, he gets his seat taken away right there. He destroys it. But Beastman, he's going to show, like he says.
It's good. It's good that you do see him succeed, and that he is. I mean, because you see this in other episodes where he makes comments like saying, "Someday you won't, order me around anymore." Just that, that mentality that he's going to, backstab Skeletor at some point, but is ultimately loyal at the same time. So,
yeah,
it's such a great character story between Beastman and Skeletor, and the Evil Warriors for that matter too. And,
yep. There's 100 attack tracks. There's all
battle ram. Right there. It's cool.
The one thing that kind of drove me nuts, I didn't mind a lot of battle rams, but I always did remember seeing, I was like, I always thought the attack track, he's always that special, I thought, just one attack track, it's like, I kind of didn't get the vibe of seeing multiple attack tracks, but, hey, I mean, it's just cool for, I guess, background art.
Well, Sky Sleds, I always picture there being, multiples of those.
Yeah.
But, like, battle ram and the attack track, you just always assume it's just the one.
Right. I didn't like the multiple ones, especially, like I said, focusing on this, and you're seeing a ton of them in the background. And here goes Orko doing his little buffoon routine. And not to be nitpicky, but I know once he got trapped in there, I was like, Orko is a magician. Why doesn't he just, float right out there, teleport out there? He's magic. But, well, whatever, he got trapped. So I'm not picking on...
Joe obviously doesn't know how storytelling is done.
But I was not picking on that, but I did think you could just teleport out of there, and he didn't. But, it's... Okay, here's another thing on the attack track. As a kid, I remember it drove me nuts. Like I said, I love the attack track, but watching the part where it's coming at the screen, which you'll see in a couple minutes, and from sideways, I always, and like the toy.
I mean, that diagonal angle it's shot, Orko's silhouette kind of hides down on the seat because he...
No, not that. It's the actual treads. Because as for the toy, it has to be in unison to make it go forward properly. That part. Where it's
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I didn't like the flopping of the left, right of the tread.
So that happened so quick, and only you would find some sort of flaw.
But as a kid, I mean...
flawless episode.
I did, but I hated it as a kid, and I still hate it. Because I'm like, well, if it's going to go flopping in different modes, it'd be all crooked. It can't go straight. So, but that's fine, is when it's doing. So, yeah, Joe had his attack track nitpick. Out of everything in the episode...
Still work, though. As long as the wheels are all going in the same motion, of course it could still work.
Because then he'll want to go this way, then I'll want to go that way. So it would just flop over. So there, that's Joe's problem.
Joe's master of physics.
The master of physics. Well, look at the toy. It couldn't have worked as a toy. The thing would have went...
Well, I like this version better anyway.
I did. Well, I always did like this. I thought it'd been cool to get this.
Yeah, this attack track was much better, I thought.
Joe Amaro, by the way, made an amazing custom attack track that looked like Filmation. It was fantastic. So just
that's something. I mean, to have a big kind of what's the? I mean, the extra space where you can haul multiple characters.
What is Orko accomplishing? What did Orko accomplish? What was Orko accomplishing with that hammer? I mean, never mind. What are you gonna do with a tread and popping how he's doing at that angle? Wouldn't work.
I feel a hate crime coming on right now.
I mean, hate crime. It's just certain parts of it got to me. So yeah, well there you go. I like how he called He-Man.
I'm gonna bury you with that mask.
I'm sorry. I always liked how he called He-Man young man when King Randor said that. It seemed different, because it's like I don't know. He addressed him a different way that I never heard. I'm always used to, He-Man you think is kind of the older man, but when he said young man, it's like he had this different respect for He-Man and called him something that I don't think anybody else...
Well, I'd imagine King Randor probably calls anybody that's younger than him young man. Not to say that He-Man does not look like a fully grown, guy in his maybe mid-20s, he still is a young man, even though I think people think of young man as like a teenager or something like that, maybe, or a young
speaking of things, poor Prince Adam, he's basically, right there finding out with a person that Randor wants to accompany him. He wants He-Man, and Well, of course, Prince Adam wants to do it. You know, that's what the similarity, I guess, I felt like they were trying to do in this episode, how they like doing, you know, in a lot of different TV shows, is putting similar stories for different characters. Like Beastman, all he's wanting to really do is get the respect of Skeletor, and Prince Adam wants to get the respect of his father. You know, I felt like that was like a similar, you know, struggle that they're both doing in this story. Maybe something I don't know that really wasn't thought of, but I kind of got that vibe, you know.
And this is my favorite scene of this entire episode is the music playing with Adam, you know, pretty much, you know, bleeding his heart out, saying, you know, I'm tired of doing this. I'm tired of being a failure to my father because I have to pretend. And it's such a very refreshing sequence with a lot of depth to it, and how comforting the sorceress is. It gives so much credit to Linda Garrett delivering her lines here, that she understands and sympathizes, but she also, you know,
explains the importance of that secret identity.
It's important that you do, and I hate it for you. I mean, but she also says, you know, do what you think is right, but be careful. And this will come back to bite Adam in the butt, because He-Man can take care of things, Prince Adam cannot. Adam obviously is a physically strong guy and trained very well, but you know, he can't take on, you know, Skeletor's forces or anything, you know, that's a lot more threatening, so to speak. And I mean, but to get caught up here, it's fun watching Beastman, you know, kind of wallowing in his, you know, defeat and failure of being kicked out, and he's got
almost like what I was saying with the similarities with Prince Adam. Like I said, all he wants is respect from Skeletor, just like Adam wants respect from his father. And as you see here, the poor guy still doesn't get respect even from this little tree creature that plopped.
And I used to think that fruit as a kid, like it looks kind of gross. Like
it looks like slime, and he licks it and he likes it. But
I mean, some sort of, you know, that whatever fruit it was. I mean, it's, you know, I guess it's kind of good. If Beastman thought it was pretty good, but
and now he's going to try to get his time to shine here. And there is a part that I do really enjoy that when it comes up, I'll explain, because it's something that I don't think you've really seen in a lot of other episodes. Not saying it hasn't happened, but when it does, I'll explain it. I do get kind of a kick out of it.
So of how Randall's still belittling Adam, you know, like very disapproving that He-Man didn't come along, and
yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to see Beastman, you know, being calculating, like he's thinking to himself, like he's so desperate to show Skeletor, like, look, I want to come back and I'll show you just how competent I am. Like, it's not at this point about revenge; it's about proving that, you know, I'm worthy of being a member of the Evil Warriors. Which is interesting. That it's not about revenge; it's strictly, excuse me, about proving himself. Which,
so like I said, with Prince Adam, just like I said with Prince Adam. So you see what I mean with that similarity? It's like Beastman and Prince Adam are going through the same thing with just obviously different people. But all right, so here we go. We got this moment with all the Shadow Beasts. They're going to get into that freaking attack track. They're going to make sure that they get in there and they get the king, because Beastman's got a plan. He has an idea. But I'm waiting for that part. And it shows his strength here, you know, knocking over a tree, doing what he has to do to stop him. And I'm going to like when Prince Adam gets out of here. I'll explain this when it happens. And there goes Man-at-Arms just being dismissed like absolutely nothing. But Prince Adam wants to show what he can do. So he gets out, and, well, you're going to find out what he can do really isn't much, because, bam, right here, Beastman has him. Now look at Beastman's eyes. I love the little slits. Not to say like how MOD-JOE-LOK is, but more animal-like instead of the pupils. You see those slits in his eyes?
Yeah.
Something about that.
This was such a cool bit of animation anyway. Like to see, you know, one of the Evil Warriors physically grab a hold of one of them.
Right. It was unique and it was different. He's grabbing him. Prince Adam's struggling. He can't get him. But I love seeing how evil Beastman looked. And can you say, has that been done in many other episodes with the eye slit like that? I loved it.
I can't really say for sure right off the top of my head, because I you know, you don't see Beastman do that kind of stuff to where, you know, no, I'd say probably not. Okay. But
it scared me as a kid. I do remember that. That, for some reason, when I seen Beastman, it scared me when I was a kid, because he looked very frightening.
See, when he scowled earlier about, you know, I'm master of all the beasts, right? And goes, you know, that face he made in that part scared me as a kid. And this is just emphasizing, you know, Beastman's triumph, you know, mocking Randor. I mean, And the dialogue, it's all good. There's not a bad line of dialogue in this entire episode. Everybody's still treated very well. I mean, like him mocking Randor for his son, like in Lowry. I mean, it's just great. Like Beastman is just, I mean, putting salt in the wound, just putting the pressure, harder and harder, on Randor that, what, you've lost. I'm going to capture your son. I'm going to get all the, the turning, royal treasury.
That gold, yeah. Exactly. He wants the gold. He wants the treasure. He has a plan, and he's hoping that then Skeletor then can now respect him after what he's done. And of course,
and it's just unfortunate that Skeletor is not there. That Merman's left on guard duty while they're off in the space mission, and it sucks because you would love to see how Skeletor will react. That Beastman has only been gone maybe a couple of days.
Yeah.
And comes right back with King Randor in hand.
And I like that. When Merman told him he's out doing some, like mission out in space, I thought that was cool too. I was like, he's in space.
A destruction mission too. Lord of Destruction is out on a destruction mission.
Like he's space. Like what was he doing?
He-Man. There's nobody stopping him wherever he's at.
What is he doing? Where's he at? What's going on?
Yeah.
Just the thought of being in space, and of course we know eventually we got, new adventures with He-Man and all that.
Well, I'm thinking maybe you could tie it into like Shadow Skeletor, where he goes to the light and the dark moon and starts a war between those two. Like you could almost say like he travels out there to kind of start plotting. I could really start a war between these two moons. And here we are with one of the, I love this, probably one of Man-at-Arms' best moments is when he says, "Why didn't you turn to He-Man?" Adam tells him why, and then Man-at-Arms tells him, "Oh, it's this. Here it is, right here." When he stops Adam, here it is. I mean, it's such a. That's what makes Man-at-Arms a good character. He's saying things like that.
He's wise. He's a wise man.
Oh, I love this. Like, I know what I have to do. Boom! Oh, man.
And that was cool. You know what's weird?
It's so much ass.
I remember this. It was cool. I always remembered I got confused with the Prince Adam and No More. For some reason, I thought it meant there wasn't going to be No More Prince Adam. So the title used to, as a kid, confuse me at times. I was like, why does it say Prince Adam No More? I kind of always got lost with that as a kid. I always assumed it meant like there was going to be no more Prince Adam, like He-Man maybe turned.
Well, I mean, because honestly, Prince Adam is He-Man, and Prince Adam is now the disguise because he has to pretend to be a guy that just wants to fool around with women and be lazy. So Prince Adam has become the disguise, and He-Man is who he really is, kind of like with Batman and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I felt bad. It's just kind of, I don't know. And then we get to see. Here we go, Beast Man feasting, enjoying what he's done, sitting in Skeletor's throne. When do you see something like that? So it's like, yeah, he feels like he's the one that's the king of Snake Mountain right now, eating that carton.
And you see the Skeletor's obviously got rations hanging around Snake Mountain, so they'd probably break into his private pantry or something like that. I mean, he's got wine. He's got some great chicken in here.
What is it about cartoon chicken that always looks so good? When he ate that, it looked delicious.
I love to sit down at the table with Merman and Beastman and chow down on, whatever beverage they've got there, maybe some grape juice or something like that. I'm sure it's wine of some kind. But,
some kind. But now He-Man's in there, and, well, He-Man's, of course.
I love the sequence of He-Man coming in by himself, the music that's playing, too. Like, he's on a mission. He's going to come in and get his father, and it's just such a great action-adventure scene from He-Man. He knows where to go and stay out. Like, he's been there so many times.
Yeah, because he didn't fall for that trap. He didn't go for that beam. He jumped over it, but they still heard a sound effect. But I like that he's observant.
So cool. I mean, I love this. It's I mean, just small, subtle stuff, but it's so many things I feel like people look over a whole lot.
Sure. And now he's looking for King Randor. Of course, there's this giant imprisoned octopus creature.
I'll say what's in that cage.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was kind of always fun mystery of some of these creatures is not even seeing them. You didn't have to see them to know that there was something savage and, beastly behind those bars. So... yeah, but of course he pops this out and he gets his, and there the alarm wall goes off now. But and we're going to get to see some good scrapping from King Randor, which I kind of
I love like. It's just so cool to see them running and the impending forces of the robot knights are coming, and it's such a. I mean, all this, the animation, the music, I mean, everything. It's just it's all coming. I mean.
I always like this coming at you stuff too. I like that 3D. I mean, face to face running, but I also like that how you're going to see King Randor ain't going to back down. People don't know what he's done. So it's cool to see him getting down here.
You got Evelyn's wand is sitting right off to the side, like she's about, and he's gonna grab it and bam.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It was good. I always like seeing when you'd see the people you didn't expect doing something to do something,
and it's
and
just
to
so
see
cool.
He-Man's reaction.
And Randor saying, it'd be great if Adam could see me doing this, and it's just like, he can. It's great because for the fans, they know it's a real father-son moment, even if Randor doesn't. It's just great. It's great storytelling.
It is, and there you got to see them take care of all those disposable hover robots,
robot knights,
or robot knights, hover robots, whatever you want to call them.
I'm just so picky about that. Like, I know they're hover robots because they are referred to as hover robots in this episode, but to me, they're always gonna be robot knights.
Just like you, I know you're a stickler for heroic warriors and masters.
I feel like people can get away with calling them hover robots because they're called that in this episode. Whereas, robot knights, I got that from Diamond Ray. But but I'm more of a stickler for the
tomato, amato. I get you. Either way, it works.
Yeah. But I like this too. Like, even though you've seen these guys in team ups before, this is a bit different because it just doesn't feel like, they're told by Skeletor, these guys are out trying to defend what Beastman has accomplished, and Merman's right there with him. Of course, he's getting his butt handed to him because he's not going to stand a chance against He-Man. And I love this moment where Beastman charges him in the basher. The He-Man
thing. How the hell did he get out that cage? How did he get out of that cage? If that thing can't get out, how did Merman get out without a key? But whatever. That's another thing that I'll pass on. But there you go. Got Beastman. There we go. Yep, he got Beastman, and Beastman ain't going nowhere. So
it's just a cool He-Man moment when the He-Man thing kicks him and he grabs a hold of that basher.
The music is always great. There you go.
I love
there's a custom figure. You can just put one of the robot knights' heads on a Beastman.
Joe's only thinking of himself here.
I am not. Oh, wouldn't that be awesome to make? No. So there you go.
Boy, here we go to the
Oh, Lord, I'm getting live calls during the show. Sorry about that. That will.
Call Danny calling to say, Joe, I want to thank you guys for talking so great about the episode that I wrote.
Exactly. So here goes Beastman doing his talking, his hardcore talking. He can say what he wants about Skeletor because he's not scared. But I always like when they get caught. Like basically.
And the shot of Skeletor's, pumped fist. He like curled up, like he's like, oh man, I'm gonna kill him.
I always like that. I always like when they got caught. That was always cool to see, when the main baddie, would show up then and you're like, oh, shoot, it's over now. Clean that crap up, Beastman. You know what to do. Merman, too. You both clean that stuff up. So I guess Merman, he got thrown into the same little category as Beastman, being on the oust.
And it shows that Skeletor, whatever.
And that Beastman likes it, as you see. You know what? He enjoys it now. He kind of is glad.
He enjoys it, but also acknowledges, you know what? Skeletor didn't kick me out.
Yeah.
Even though he say clean it up, then you're gone. But you kind of get the vibe that Skeletor's like, come on back.
Yeah. Oh, and here comes the line that you're going to hear eventually what Prince Adam's going to say in regards to King Randor. And what's that line for everybody?
With a good left hook.
And it's weird. It's like, I always wondered, why'd you say that? Because, then King Randor was like, wait, but how? And I wonder, it's like he kind of wanted to let him know, hey, I'm He-Man, but still didn't, I was surprised.
It's like it almost feels like if Randor did figure it out, he probably wouldn't have bothered him.
Yeah, he wanted him to know. That's what I liked. He wanted his dad kind of to know in a way. It's like Adam couldn't hold it in. So,
yeah.
Well, that was a real good episode. And then it ends with, of course,
a good solid moral Orko here, too. And it's just
about love between parents and children. So, which is, like I said, that was a nice moral at the end.
Yeah, and it's a moral that was weaved into the story. It was not something that you felt like, that's what Filmation was so good about. They didn't talk down to kids. They put it into the story so much that you wouldn't, unless they told you a lot of these morals, you wouldn't even know. I mean, some of them were completely, shoehorned in, like, safety in driving a car and stuff like that. But
right,
there's something like that, watching that, a child probably would not have picked up on that immediately. And then once Orko tells you what it was about, like, okay, I get it now. So,
yeah. So it was a solid episode. Like I said, I had my little things I was just joking and nitpick on, but otherwise, no.
Of course you were.
Because like I said, there's some that you could, but otherwise, no, that was always a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd put it in my top 5, but it's a very solid episode.
I definitely I mean, I almost feel like with the top 5, I'd really have a hard time, but
yeah, because unfortunately, if you notice, it seems like anytime we watch one of these, you're always like, it's in my top 5. It's like,
well, as much as I love, let's see, we've done Dawn of Dragon. As much as I love that episode, I probably wouldn't put it in my top 5. I would probably put it in my top 10, but not my top 5. There's a Quest for He-Man, ain't going top nothing.
all right.
You know, Huntar would be in my top 5 She-Ra episodes, but like we haven't done Dragon's Gift, we haven't done Chakotay, we haven't done Disappearing Dragons, we haven't done Evelyn's Plot.
There's plenty left, so
plenty to do. But those 4 episodes are just so Prince Adam No More would probably might actually round up my top 5 if I start thinking about it there. But
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it was a great episode. It was good commentary. And before we get to your closing statements, and before we get to Doug's takeaways, it's time for me to talk about the MOD-JOE-LOK mask that I promised that I'll give fans a chance to win. I'll try to make one thing really easy. Another one might be a little tricky, but there's 2 things you guys have to do. If you can be the first one that can answer both of these questions correctly and post the answers on our Fans of Power Facebook page, you'll win my first ever MOD-JOE-LOK mask. So,
now the first question is: there is a plant in this picture of me and Lewis Black that you can't really see. Your job is to identify what kind of plant this is behind me in this picture of Lewis Black that you cannot see. So the person who gets it right gets past the first question.
It's a diseased ficus. A diseased ficus.
I mean, what can I say? Doug has a green thumb.
All right, everybody ignore Tyler. So here's question number 1. This cover here for Caverns of Fear. I want to know who is the artist who drew this cover for Caverns of Fear. That's the first question. Second question. I've mentioned this before on my Facebook page a lot, my personal Joe Amato Facebook page. Now you can go to my page.
Parts of Mexico.
Oh, there you go. Now, again, you don't need, even if you're not on my friends list, you can still look through all my photos and stuff. I want you to tell me how I won my Super Nintendo back in the day, because I made a post with a picture, and you could do some searching through my photos. Find that. Tell me how I won my Super Nintendo back in the day. And along with this of who drew the cover for Caverns of Fear, you answer both those correctly, post the answers on the Fans of Power Facebook page, you'll win my MOD-JOE-LOK mask. So those are the 2 questions. So there you go. That's my stuff. And before we go to you, Tyler, Dirt, what do you have for takeaways?
Alrighty, well, let's see here. We got a couple things here tonight. First of all, Joe just cannot get away from those Friday the 13th references. He made a new MOD-JOE-LOK mask. He redid the artwork. It looks shiny. It looks fresh. Just like Jason X Evil got an upgrade.
Oh, okay. I like that. All right.
Jason X.
We also learned that tonight this podcast totally reeks of awesomeness.
Okay. Rated R. Gotcha.
According to Tyler, in 1986, we got Rio Blast, and we also got Rio Blast. So make sure you take note of that, kids.
Oh, did he say it twice? Okay. He's excited. He likes his Rio Blast.
And finally, for those of you who are looking at the book cover for Caverns of Fear, Joe thinks that paintings are drawn. So, draw what you will from that. Back to you guys.
Boy, is his face red.
I got zinged. I love getting zinged. All right. I can admit that. I'm a moron. I am a moron. I can admit that. So, all right.
I always appreciate Doug's attention to detail. When you think he's not listening, he's kind of, he screwed up here. He screwed up there, you know.
He'll get you. Don't ever cross Dirt. Dirt will get you.
He's the spoiler. That's what he is. Doug's the spoiler.
He's named Dirt for a reason because he's going to bury you. So
he's got all the dirt on all of us.
That's right. He'll
He's
bury
the
you in the
Triple H
dirt.
of the podcast. I'm going to bury all of you.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, oh, Tyler, go ahead. What do you got for recommendations or closing statements or anything? What you got for us?
Quickly, I've got the image for the mini comic that me and Carson have, you know, or that Carson's been working on, still working on. and hopefully I'll have more images, but the image that's shown here is what I mentioned last week, and I'm just going to tell you what it is, because people are thinking, what the hell is it? But it is a dimensional gate that leads from Eternia to Etheria, and it's a giant man-eating plant. And I pulled that as a reference from the Golden Book, Tila's Secret, as to get to Etheria, there was a man-eating plant in the vine jungle that if you let it swallow you, it would spit you out on Etheria, and that's what this is. So Carson came up with his own idea of what this big man-eating plant is, and the following panels will show He-Man and the heroic warriors coming out of the plant on Etheria and trying to figure out where they've got to go to get to the Fright Zone. So
I like that.
That's not spoiling, because I think everyone will know that Go's going to fight evil in this. But to give context to this image, since there's no characters to be revealed, that is what the purpose of this man-eating plant is, and you'll see it open up in the panels that are not colored right now, and possibly a surprise here or there on in this scene that when it's complete, I think everybody will appreciate the surprise that's in this particular scene when the heroes arrive on Etheria. Why they're on Etheria, you'll have to find out.
Yeah. Nice little teaser without showing too much, because me, I hate spoilers.
Carson's always like, we can't spoil anything. We can't spoil anything. I'm like, well, damn it, man, I gotta show them something here. I need to, I want to be able to give context. It's to, because there's a lot of stuff that I want left unspoiled, and I'm right there with him on that. But with the man-eating plant, I kind of felt like I needed to explain what it is and why it's there. So that is that. And my recommendation this week is Orko's Missing Magic from season 1, written by Larry DiTellio, and it's an episode with no Skeletor, there is a villain, but he's not a big part of it. But Orko loses his magic in this Gronk, which is a little furry creature, and by accident, and he can't do anything. Can't do simple tricks. Can't do anything. Can't conjure up rabbits.
So it's no different than how they always portray him. As always being
pretty much, but he can't even do that. Like, if he screws up, he can't even do that. He's pretty disheartened, because that's what he takes pride in, is doing small tricks as the court gesture, and feels like his sense of worth. In this episode, feels like it's deserved, not the typical, oh, Man-at-Arms yells at Orko, he runs off, hurt feelings, blah, 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 like it's happened to somebody. This is legitimately well done. And they find out that the Gronk ended up in another dimension on the planet called Omiro, run by an overlord called Zult, who's taken the magic and rules the planet with that. It's on a very crazy planet. But it's a very simple story, but it's good. It's a simple sword or magic story, so to speak. There's a lot of crazy people and creatures in it and things like that. And it's an episode I did not like at all as a kid. I thought it was very dismissive, boring. But as an adult, I found it to be a hell of a lot better. And
is it in your top 5 with your other 20 top 5?
It's not my top 5, but it's there's a lot of good episodes that wouldn't be in my top 5, maybe not even top 10. But there are some that I'm like, no, that's a really good episode. And Orko's Missing Magic is definitely a heavily overlooked episode, an episode that's not talked about at all. There's no Skeletor, there's no memorable one-shot villain. Zult isn't. Why hasn't Joe done a commission of Zult instead of focusing on putting his old mask in front of the camera for product placement?
I was doing my airplane, especially since Dirt was talking about that earlier. I figured I'd have some airplane reference, remember, and popping from the top, popping from the side. Oh God, I had a moment. I'm sorry. My attention span just.
Tomato, I throw it that Amato.
There you go, the Rotten Tomato.
But that's my He-Man recommendation for this week, and I'll have another one of those next week, or an epic moment, or another preview from Carson. It's hard to say, but that's my closing thoughts on this week. Really enjoyed today's episode.
Yeah, it was good. All right, and as for me, I keep it simple. Just go to fansofpower.com. Go to popculturenetwork.com, go to He-Man-World.com, and on Facebook, go to Masters of the Universe, He-Man and She-Ra Ultimate Fan Group. All great places, all great people. So until next time, have a powerful day.
They should have boards, bloody savage.
Gosh. All right. Well, Joe stumped off the air again, just like last week. I love it. I love when I just don't know something.
I'm quoting Brody from Mallrats when they're at the flea market. And he sees, of course, these have got boards, but he sees a pile of comic books, flips through them, and sees there's no bag and board. Looks at the dealer. These should have boards and throws them down. Bloody savage.
Okay.